Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me, as always, is...
Hi, my name's Ben, and I'm playing the witty wizarding friend, Winsler Wallaby, and along with him is his little cat companion, Mr. Wiggles.
Hello everyone, my name is Carla, and I play the mysterious, rope-yielding, level 3 tiefling rogue, Integrity Idleberry.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play musical magician, Mira Marchand.
Last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students used every trick in their small book in an attempt to unlock a portcullis with a fake key. They then performed some minor stitching and eye replacement surgery in order to receive the real key and finish creating a flesh golem. After running away from this creation, they entered a messy library with a slide and a confusing ship wheel which seems to spin the library around. Finally, the students entered a reading room containing an angry imp made entirely of sand, who quickly threw a book at Winsler for his snarky comment. So, just to set the scene once more, you had just climbed up these stairs after turning the entire library over on its head, flipping all the messy books and sand to the ceiling, now floor. You found yourselves in a small reading room. It's a rectangular room. There's a fireplace against the left-hand wall, and some nice wooden bookshelves that have fallen down onto the ground, and a few very nice reading chairs. Amidst the rubble was a small sand imp who was wearing a nice little reading coat. And after making a witty comment about turning his downtime into uptime, he threw a book at Winsler's head. Well, it didn't hit you. I'll say that.
I thought it did.
No, it missed. He just threw it at your head. It didn't hit you.
I distinctly remember at the ending of last episode, it hit me square in the head and I took damage.
Oh, well, then it hit you square in the head and you took damage. And standing in front of you is a giant badger. I need you all to roll initiative.
What? Huh? Where did this come from?
9.
I got a 14, and Mr. Wiggles got a 17.
He's a cat.
He's quick on his feet.
Okie dokie. Cheese pierogies. Up first is Mr. Wiggles. What would he like to do?
Probably gonna run to where the fallen bookcases are.
Absolutely. Just hide, duck for cover.
Yeah.
Even though he's a cat.
Yeah, of course. Wait to pounce.
Okay.
That's how cats work, right?
So that's him done.
So he's just gonna nestle himself among there.
Winsler now, what would you like to do? There is a large badger. It's roughly the same size as you, if not a bit bigger. You could probably ride this as a human rides a horse. And then about 15 feet away, sitting upon a pile of books and sand, is this sandy imp.
What do badgers like to eat?
That's an amazing question. I'm going to say they're burrowing animals. They probably like potatoes and stuff.
Potatoes
or carrots, root vegetables. That's my educated guess, at least.
What do badgers eat?
So...
They don't eat potatoes.
What do they eat?
They eat insects, grubs, and the eggs of young ground-nesting birds.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
Okay, so with my conjuration abilities, I am going to conjure an egg in my hand, and I'm going to roll it next to this badger in hopes that it will act as a nice distraction.
Absolutely. Make a deception check, I suppose.
That was a 14.
Well, the badger, this wise badger got a 13. So it scuttles off towards your, an egg?
Yeah, an egg.
You rolled, okay, where'd you throw it to? Or
to
roll it to?
So if Mr. Wiggles went to the bookcases, I would roll it towards the fireplace.
Okay. So he scuttles over towards the fireplace because his turn was next.
Excellent.
And is going to investigate this nice little egg.
It's just an egg. I swear.
He got a 16 to actually up close bite at the egg, examining it physically. Does that do anything? Is it actually corporeal? Like he bit it, would it disappear at this point since it's taken damage?
I would say that counts as taking damage, so that egg is just gone now.
Okay, well, he has wasted his turn effectively, biting into this egg. He looks a bit disconcerted as he doesn't, his mouth doesn't feel that good yolky goodness. Good yolky goodness. Gosh.
Aha!
Away with words. Anyway, on to Mira. What would you like to do?
We should psychologically torture it, just keep conjuring food until it has no idea what's real anymore and just gives up. That being said, Mira cannot do that, so now that it's moved over to the fireplace, is there enough distance between us, the bear, and the imp to cast fairy fire, illuminating both the imp and the bear, but not us?
Badger?
Yes, I can't speak English, but yes, badger.
I was like, did I say there was a bear?
Oh my god, it's a bear!
It's the large animal that starts with a B, that one.
Is there enough distance between them to cast fairy fire?
Yeah, and not hit, well, not hit, but like...
What's the range on fairy fire? Is it only 5 feet?
It's a 20-foot cube.
20 feet. You could center it on the far side of the room and hit the imp and the badger easily.
Okay, that just means then that they have to make dex saves.
Absolutely. The imp creature gets a 21.
Ooh, don't slip and fall on the light.
And the badger gets
The imp is fine.
a 4.
Nope. So now the badger, if we attack it, we get advantage.
What color is the fairy fire?
Blue.
Blue. So these blue sparkles kind of illuminate this very annoyed badger. Up next is Integrity. What would you like to do?
So the badger is now angry, right?
Oh, he was already angry. He was angry the second he was fooled into thinking there was an egg in this room. Now he's just a sparkly badger as well.
Angry enough to fight us, basically.
Yes, that is the intention.
Okay. I'm going to bring out my short bow.
Okay.
And I am going to attract his attention towards somewhere else using the arrow. Like, sort of like make
like
it pass
shoot
through.
it behind. What? It's a real badger. You can't just shoot through its eyes.
Yeah. No, hit. Is it standing up or is it?
No, it's
down?
like on all fours.
It's on all fours.
Yes.
I'm going to try and hit one of its legs with a short bow.
Which leg?
Bottom right.
We all
The
know
bottom right,
strategically
the
that's
back
the
right.
leg to hit if
So
you're
you
gonna hit
mean-
any badger leg.
The right one. The bottom right.
So you mean the bottom,
So,
the...
yes.
Okay, so the right rind leg.
Rind. Hind.
He was too influenced by the pork rinds he's apparently been
So,
carrying
see,
around.
yeah,
a badger?
rind.
You just start substituting
You know
food
that back
words for normal
rind.
words.
Hey, I didn't come here to be judged.
So the back leg?
The back right leg.
You can absolutely shoot in its Achilles heel if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. So that.
Don't you mean banana peel? Because you're just using
What?
food words for non-food things. I figured that was the logical conclusion.
I'm sorry if I spent the last few of my spell slots just greasing shit.
What did you roll to hit it with your
so
short
I
bow?
I add the die and the hit, right?
Yes.
That's a 22.
A 22 adequately hits the badger's rind leg. Please roll your 1d8 damage.
Why D8?
What?
Because that's the damn.
1d. Oh, it's a short bow. It does 1d6.
Yeah.
You are correct. I apologize.
Okay.
I give you now the title of game referee. Please run the adventure.
Sorry.
Why are you feeding us false information?
Fake
Listen,
news.
I'm failable.
First you call a hind leg a rind.
did you roll?
now
Rind
you're-
like a hind. Rind is correct in this world.
What is your damage?
What's your damage, Heather?
We spent 12 minutes and we're still at the first round of combat, guys. Please.
I spell warehouse with an H.
How much damage?
Okay, that's a 9.
9? Oh, that's max
Yeah.
damage.
Because I rolled
my
a 6
gosh.
and plus 3.
All right, the badger seems to be quite crippled by that and seems to be moderately scared for its life at this point. The imp will go next, who starts to scuffle through a couple of the books on the pile and eventually finds one and is going to throw it at not Mr. Wiggles because he ran away and hid.
Yeah.
He's instead going to throw it at Integrity, who is shooting his badger friend. Okay. This time, as the book lands in front of you, Integrity, in a small puff of smoke, you now see standing before you is a large creature which resembles a lizard. And it's kind of like, it's upright on 2 legs with no clothes, and it's going to take a swing at you.
What in tarnation?
How big is it?
It's very tall, like probably 7 feet tall. And it kind of has this mottled texture to its scales.
Ew.
Okay. Does a 13 hit your armor class?
No, it does not.
Okay. It tries to slash out at you 3 times with its long claws, but you manage to duck out of the way, making it look like a fool thrashing around in this pile of books. The imp is then going to run over to the collapsed bookshelves and attempt to hide away. Back around to Mr. Wiggles.
Do you think if he's hiding there too, think I could have Mr. Wiggles kind of inspect the area to reveal the location of this now hidden dust devil?
Can't
Sand,
believe we're being
thank you.
attacked by a vacuum.
If you wanted to roll investigation as Mr. Wiggles, I would allow
this
that.
really sucks.
Okay. He got 15.
A 15. Unfortunately, it seems like the imp is in its natural habitat as it blends completely in with the ground.
Well, we're gonna have to find this vacuum at some point.
Why are you Southern? And if that is all for Mr. Wiggles' turn, Winsler, what would you like to do? Standing to your right is a large lizard man, and ahead of you is the badger.
I'm gonna... What do I have? So did the lizard just kind of appear?
It seems to have been... seems to have emerged in a puff of magical smoke from this book that the imp threw on the ground.
As one does.
And I will say the book that the imp threw on the ground is still there, and you can very clearly, plainly see that instead of saying book, as all the other books you have seen thus far have said, it says cave dwellers and their ilk.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm gonna cast Create Bonfire on that book.
Okay.
This hurts Mira a little inside.
As the daughter of a librarian. Roll damage, I suppose.
Ah, yes. I have lost my D8.
Oh my gosh.
That would be a 7.
Okay. As you burn up the book and its surrounding books to a point, it very quickly, more quickly than you would expect, burns, and even seems to burn a small divot in the ground, even though it is made of this stone. And the large lizard person seems to disappear in another large puff of smoke.
Okay, you did say that the surrounding books are kind of aflame too.
No, it was a very quick burn.
Okay,
Nothing to worry
very
about.
quick.
Lots of smoke,
Phew.
however.
Oh.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, the badger is going to scuttle his way towards you, Integrity. And with his little limp, he just barely manages to make it to you. And he is going to attempt to claw you and bite you.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the claws do not hit, but as you duck away, it manages to bite onto you with a 22. And it is going to do
What?
4 damage as it
Uh-oh.
bites your leg. It is now it is now clinging to you for dear life.
Oh no, don't sound so dismayed.
Mira, what would you like to do?
Oof. Yeah. I'm gonna turn to the badger and I'm gonna say, hey, quit badgering my friend and go burrow somewhere else, and cast Vicious Mockery. And because I do notice that it's looking a little weak, I just want to specify any damage that I'm doing is non-lethal because it is an animal.
It is magic, so that is impossible.
To do non-lethal damage?
Correct, unless you have certain
No.
unless you have someone who has warded against killing someone.
No,
Okay.
she doesn't. But just know narratively that that's Mira's intent.
Absolutely, to not kill the bear or the badger. I call it a bear now. It's badger.
It's catching on.
It had to make a saving throw, correct?
Yeah, wisdom.
Okay, so it was a synthetic 20.
Oh no, the badger is fine.
The badger is fine. Its mind is a steel trap. Is that all you'd like to do?
Yes.
That's nothing.
Absolutely. Integrity. You have a badger gnawing at your leg. It is mildly annoying.
The damage was because it bit me, or right?
Yes.
So I yell, "Ouch!"
Oh. What a genuine reaction.
And then I'm going to sort of. Oh no, it's a big one, right? It's a big animal, so I can't
It's
just
pretty
wiggle it out.
It's probably like 60 pounds.
I'm going to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Now, you could have done that when the badger bit you, but since it is now your turn,
I'm so
you can no
confused.
longer do that. It is a reaction which you must use when you take damage.
Oh, I didn't know that was a
I will
thing.
let you.
Oof.
I will
Okay.
let you in this moment use
No,
it.
it's fine.
But in the future, no.
It's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm just
Don't
going
come
to.
crying to me when the badger kills you.
I'm just gonna go back to yelling again, like "Ow!"
Wow.
And I'm going to disengage.
Okay, you can do that as a
Is that
bonus
okay?
action. Yes.
But I'm going to take out my short sword,
Okay.
and I'm going to just like try to hit
So you're going to try to hit it as you pull your leg away from it.
the.
Okay.
Yes, like sort of like think of like you're in like a grass field and you're trying to
Hit the grass.
stop the itch on your leg, like sort of like that, but not intentionally trying to
Yeah,
hurt
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
trying
Except
to
with a sharp
get away
sword.
from it.
Yeah, with a sword you could easily hit it with the side of it,
It's great
so
that
that
we're
you're
also
not hitting
nice
it
to
with
this
the
magic
sharp
badger
point.
that's tried to kill us.
Yeah.
I was just imagining a crowbar being wedged between like a door and a wall, just trying to remove your leg from the jaws of this creature.
So feel free to make an attack roll against the badger.
That is another 22.
You hit it very easily. Please roll damage.
That is a 8.
8. So you whap it on the head as you pull your leg away, and it falls on the ground unconscious. Because you did not want to cut it. So it is unconscious, not dead. Congratulations. And would you like to
Nice.
move or anything?
I'm going to move away
Sleepy
from.
time.
In which direction?
What's behind me?
Behind you is a wall and a staircase.
Is there anywhere I can hide?
You could run over to the bookshelves, or you could try to burrow into this
Okay.
big pile of books.
I'm going to hide behind the shelves.
Absolutely. Make a stealth check for me. Actually, you can make it to these shelves, but you cannot hide because you did disengage and attack. So, on your next turn.
Okay. I'm just gonna go to the shelf.
Yeah, you can move over the shelves, though. It is now going to be the imp who pops out from a small pile of sand with a red leather book, and he's going to throw at you this time, Mira. This one, as it flies towards you, you can see on the spine, it says carnivorous pests and how to use them. And it lands at your feet, and a large, flesh-colored bat with a
Oh.
large, proboscis appears, and it's flying around you.
Okay, then. That's great. What a great day Mira is
It's a
having.
leather bird. I think we're all having a very good day.
And it is going to try to attack you with its proboscis.
It can try.
Does an 8 hit you? I don't think so, right?
No.
Okay, you nimbly bat this tiny, almost mosquito-like bat. It's bat size, but it looks like a big mosquito. It's a flesh-colored mosquito. Out of the way.
Glad they found a way to make mosquitoes scarier.
And back around to Mr. Wiggles. He is about 5 feet away, 5 or 6 feet away from the imp who just popped out of the sand. Would he like to make his attack?
As a familiar, he actually can't attack, right?
Can he not?
No, on his own, he's completely useless.
Well, shucks. Okay.
I love your just expression of
Well
shock.
darn.
Well, I was told he was waiting to pounce, so I didn't assume pouncing would be like a
he
verbal,
was.
ha, gotcha. I assumed it would be with claws.
But because of the turn of events, that has not happened, and I realized that Dragon Breath is a 2nd level spell.
Well, look at that. So if Mr. Wiggles is not going to do anything.
He's just going to sit there, but prepare the dodge action.
Okay, Winsler, back around to you. You see this small little imp, and you see a small flesh-colored mosquito buzzing around Mira's head. It's bat-sized.
Are there any other books around me that seem to be similar to the one that the imp is using?
Roll investigation.
That's a 6.
6. A lot of books that say book.
Okay,
You see a partially burnt book that has a title that's not book, but you can't really make it out because of the soot and stuff.
Okay. So, believing that one of these books may be the key, I'm just going to pick up a random book and chuck it.
I need you to roll percentile dice.
That don't sound good.
But maybe if you summon a creepy beast, you can control it and harness it against the imp.
That was an 80.
An 80. With an 80, you pick up a book that says From the Western Jungles that you didn't seem to see before and throw it at the imp.
Yeah, just like trying to aim for his head.
Make an attack roll.
If you can do it, I can do it too, you ne'er-do-well.
Thanks, Ray Bradbury.
That was a 13.
A 13 hits it square in the head, and it takes 1
Excellent.
bludgeoning damage. And then a panther makes a small puff in the air in front of it. So now you control 2
it's
cats.
a giant Mr. Wiggles.
What would you like this panther to do? Panthers can pounce.
Yeah,
bite,
you
and
please
claw.
control this.
Yeah, I'll
Amazing
control.
new friend.
He's going to bite into the little torso of the imp. And succeeds. He is now.
Wow. We rolled high on this one.
Glad it wasn't a goldfish.
Oh yeah, that would have been a terrible thing.
The panther is now holding the imp in its mouth, and it starts to make its way back towards you. Integrity, what would you like to do?
Oh, is Mira not going to do anything?
Mira, what would you like to do?
Thank you.
I'm over here. Hello.
I'm gonna turn to the imp who is being carried by the panther, and I'm gonna say, look, this isn't going well for you clearly, and it's going to end better for all of us if you called off your animals and just explained what was happening, and I'm gonna cast suggestion. So it has to make a wisdom save, I believe.
Ooh.
That is gonna be an 18.
Yeah, it doesn't have to listen to me if it doesn't want.
I'm sorry that they're making good saves.
I mean, maybe my ideas were just logical enough that in the absence of magic, it still wants to
Make
listen.
a persuasion check. That's a good point.
Ugh. 14.
Unfortunately, you don't seem to appeal to this imp's sense of fair play.
Aw, rats. Literally.
And it doesn't seem to realize that it's in a
Well,
perilous
you
situation.
read what you sow.
Okay. Integrity.
Can I check out the titles of the books on the shelf beside me?
There are none on the shelf. They are all on the floor because you turned the dungeon over.
Are there any books under me that has, like, anything other than books?
Roll on investigation check.
9.
They seem to be all titled book. But if you wanted to close your eyes and leave it up to fate, you could roll percentile dice if you just wanted to pick a book and throw it.
I want to try that out.
Okay, just roll percentiles.
60?
You pick up a book. It's green. Make an attack roll against the imp. and just add your dexterity because you do not have proficiency in books.
6.
6. It falls on the ground in front of the
Books.
imp and panther, and nothing happens because it is just titled book.
You would think we would all have proficiency in books if we're at a fucking wizard school.
You never know. And so that will be your turn. It is now the imp who is going to attempt to Ooh, that's a really good idea. He is going to
can't get
point
any
his
better than
little
that.
finger at the panther and cast a sleep spell.
A what
I thought
spell?
he was gonna like turn the panther until it was controlled by the imp. No, that's not as bad.
None of you have less than 7 hit points, right?
What if we have exactly 7?
So the imp the panther and Winsler both fall asleep because
night.
the panther had 13 and had 7 left over, so it drains your hit points, or it doesn't drain your hit points, but if you have less than that, then you fall asleep. And perfect usage of the spell Sleep, Mr. Imp. And he wriggles his way out of the panther's mouth and is about 10 feet away from you, Mira, and 15 feet away from you, Integrity. Does Mr. Wiggles want to do anything?
Could he come and wake me up? Or attempt to?
I think he could take an action to try to wake you up,
Yeah,
yes.
just have him do it. Just have him do what cats do when they want you to wake up.
I'm
Just have him,
dying!
like,
Feed me!
lay on
So he's going to... I will give you...
This is no
I will
time to
give
be
you-
taking a nap.
Yes. So he uses his action and makes some biscuits on your chest and meows very loud and wakes you up. Now it is your turn. You are prone in the sand. You started drooling in the 6 seconds that you were out. So there's a bit of sand on your face.
I'm gonna
What would
make
you like to
sand
do?
Angel.
Sure. All right. Mira, what would you like to do?
I'm about 10 feet from the imp. I'm gonna do pocket sand. I'm gonna crouch down. I'm gonna get some sand and I'm gonna throw it at the imp to see if I can obscure its vision and maybe, throw it off a little bit.
Ooh, it rolled a natural 1.
Cool. Do I just make a
So
ranged
it, like-
attack or?
No.
Oh.
I assume you can throw sand at a decent rate. Just like
Probably.
in an area. The imp unfortunately doesn't close its eyes fast enough
Nice.
and is blinded. You'd think being made of this stuff would give it some sort of natural defense
Well,
against
if you
it,
threw
but
flesh at someone's
no.
eyes, they would
Everyone.
probably have a bad time.
That's a valid point. Integrity. What would you like to do? There is a blind, defenseless imp made of sand standing before you wearing a coat.
Don't humanize it.
How close is the sand?
Tell me what it's wearing.
How close to the sand?
Sand imp?
The Sandman is in like fantasy type space where he is waiting to put everyone to sleep. The imp is 15 feet away from you, however.
Oh.
It's touchable though, right? If I touch the imp, my hands are not gonna go through sand.
Well, the panther bit it.
Oh, okay.
So reasonably you could suspect that it is touchable.
Okay.
Corporeal.
Tangible.
Material.
I'm going to
touchy.
I'm going to lasso the imp.
I expected you to lasso in the first round of combat, in all honesty.
Oh.
Did you have a lasso
fuck.
prepared?
No, I have to make it.
Okay. You can spend this turn making a lasso.
Okay.
So you
Well,
are
I-
prepared to lasso next turn.
While I do that, can I look at my feet and see if there's any books?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Found a book on how to make a lasso efficiently.
Never mind. Wait,
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Oh, no, nothing.
Yeah.
Book. Book. All right. It is now his turn, and he is going to, let's see if he can even approach you. He can. Look at the luck. He's gonna walk towards you, Mira, and go, "Yeah, I can do that too," and breathe out a cloud of sand. I need
shit.
you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Nope, that's gonna be a 6. Shouldn't have given it ideas.
You are now
Cool.
blind for a minute as well.
great.
This is going great, guys.
Winsler and
We
Mr.
were
Wiggles, what would you
overconfident
like
with
to
the
do?
limbs.
You've made a shoddy sand angel. It was kind of difficult due to all the books, but you managed it.
No, I tried. I did my
Which is
best.
something.
I can make this even worse by making more grease.
Why would you?
He bought a bag of pork rinds. He
Why
needs to use
wouldn't
them.
He's
I?
gonna make kinetic sand.
Do one of those sand cutting videos.
Oh,
Yes. That is beautiful.
We're gonna murder this thing, and it's gonna be so
I'm gonna-
satisfying.
I'm gonna.
Just hit it with fire and it will turn to glass.
I don't want to throw
Yeah, I'm
glass
just
at
gonna-
people's eyes.
gather up.
It's gonna breathe glass at us. That's so much worse.
I'm just gonna gather up a bunch of the sand and put it in my pocket for later, just in case.
Okay.
You never know
Sure.
when we might need sand.
You can't make two
Okay,
references.
this
It's
is
just
not a
sand in
reference
your
to pocket.
pocket?
This
This
is
is
just me
just
holding
sand in the pocket.
I need something to hold it with.
So now Mr. Wiggles' pocket is just filled
Well,
with
you can use
sand.
my other pocket. It's just as nice.
So now your cloak is going to be lopsided because you got a pound of sand in one of the
course.
pockets.
Naturally.
Okay.
It's the
okay,
it's the
okay.
specific pocket.
Okay, that's your action.
For sand.
Okay, great combat, everyone. Mira, you are blind.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, so I get disadvantage on my attacks, right?
Yes.
Okay,
You can do it.
well, I think I'll have to do something that doesn't rely on physical attacks then, so I might have to use Vicious Mockery again. I'm gonna say, "You're being really impetuous," and hope that that hurts it enough. Like, the bad pun
Okay.
in itself is physically painful,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. What kind of saving throw was that?
Wisdom.
That's a 19, and he says,
Ah.
"Yeah, heard it before, lady." You're like in that
Rude.
in a slap fight with like a cartoon slap fight with
Heard
this.
it all before. Get some
integrity.
new material.
I want to devastate it.
Integrity. What would you like to do?
Can you repeat like what the sand imp looks like?
It is about 2 feet tall. It has wings. It's wearing a little velvet reading coat. It has a hooked nose and big pointed ears. And it's made of sand. And it's blind.
But it has like hands and legs. Or
Yes, it has hands.
okay. I'm going
I
to
don't know why I have to specify which enemies have hands and which don't.
Some don't.
Is it thin enough that I can lasso to like
It's very
their,
tiny.
torso, their waist?
Absolutely.
Okay. Actually, no, I'm going to try and
Make a
lasso
dexterity
like,
attack. Oh,
around here
shoulders?
so that the arms are like. Wait, no,
Okay, so
back to the
podcast
torso.
is an
Never
audio
mind.
medium.
Back to the
Okay,
torso.
okay. I just want to, for future reference, podcasts are audio mediums. The audience cannot actually see your being. So when you go up here, it's not very helpful.
Okay, right.
So you're gonna try to get him around the
Literally-
waist.
Now, how should we tie you up? Like this or like this?
Around,
against
yeah, around the
Italians.
waist. Yeah.
Okay. So make a ranged attack. Roll a d20 and add your dexterity. I didn't think this would be the hardest combat you guys have ever faced.
That's a 4.
A 4. Your lasso, your rope, falls on the ground in front of you. Historically, you've not been great at throwing ropes, and that continues.
I have one spell slot
It is
left.
now the imp's turn. It is going to
Same.
It seems to fumble its way not towards you, not that you could see Mira, but Winsler and Integrity, you can see that it fumbles its way towards the fireplace, away from Mira. So and then it's going to claw in the air and go, "Aha, I got you," but completely miss because it's so far away. And then it's back to Wiggles and Winsler.
Oh no, you've got me. Okay. Is it small enough that this thing would fit in my hat?
No, it's about
No.
the same size as you.
Would I be able to fit at least the top half of it in my hat?
You could cover its head with your hat, yeah, but it's already blind, so I don't know why
I
you
was
would do
hoping
that.
it was gonna be small enough that I could like put the hat over the top half of this little guy and scoop him up,
Oh, no, it's slightly too big.
and then you have a sand dip.
No, it is slightly too big for that,
Okay,
unfortunately.
well then I'm just gonna catapult a book at him.
Absolutely.
This will be the
It doesn't
totally
need
worth
to.
the use.
It just hits, right?
Of my he needs to make a dex save.
6.
No.
Wonderful.
Wow, 3, 4, 5. Wonderful. That's 12 bludgeoning.
Okay. So the book labeled book flies through its midsection and it falls apart in a spray of sand. And the little coat collapses on the floor. The imp seems to be gone.
I call dibs on his coat.
You're the only one it fits, so
The
Yes.
animals are all
the panther is still present, but all the other animals are gone.
okay.
The
Cool.
badger is unconscious, I guess.
Okay.
So what would you all like to do?
Are you guys okay?
A little sleepy,
Yes, but
otherwise
my
I'm
leg's
pretty
still
good.
bleeding.
Anyone know any healing spells? Because
I
I'll be
would.
fine.
what are
guys.
spell
This
slots?
is what happens when you have more than one encounter in a day. You run out of stuff.
I used the last of my magical prowess for the day until I have a nice long cat nap.
I have 1 spell slot left.
Oh gosh.
Hey, but now I have a bunch of books and sand that I can use at my disposal to just chuck at things.
So if you wanted to look around a little bit and look for any of those special books,
I'd love
I would
to
let
do
all
that.
of you make an investigation roll.
I'm gonna go over and pick up his coat.
All right. It's very nice. It's very sandy, almost like when you bring a towel to
That's
the
a
beach and
17.
it gets all covered in sand, almost like that.
I'll
What did everyone
send it
else
to the
get?
dry cleaners later.
Okay.
This is investigation.
Yes.
22.
22. So, one of you, named Mira, finds a book titled Cursed by the Gods.
By Chuck Tingle.
Winsler, you find one that says Fauna of the North.
by George R. R. Martin.
And it seems to be the same. It seems to be the same as the book that the badger emerged from. And Integrity, you find one that says A Better Guide to
by J.K.
Botany.
Rowling.
I love those authors.
Most of all, Chuck. If I flip through mine, is there anything particularly notable?
If you flip through yours, it's just a bunch of pictures of birds.
Oh.
For my botany
Cursed
book,
by the gods as birds.
for my botany book, does it say anything about creating solutions?
For your botany book, it's not an alchemy book,
Okay.
it's a botany book,
So it's
and
just
it is all
plants.
about the identification of plants. Yes.
I want to keep it.
Sure. Winsler, do you have questions about your book?
What if
I'll open it and take a look.
It's a bunch of pictures of badgers and badger cousins
I
Oh.
kind of toss my book? Does anything happen?
onto the ground.
Yeah, like, because when the imp threw the books, important things sort of materialized. What happens if I throw mine?
When you throw your book on the ground in front of you, a small bipedal crow pops out of it. They're not wearing any clothes and they're just squawking loudly. That was kind of more monkey-esque, but you get the picture.
Jesus. These are some weird
okay,
crows.
hello, crow. I look at it. Does it seem magical or interesting in any way? Is it just a regular bird?
Oh, would you like to examine it and
Yeah,
such?
yeah.
Give me an investigation or perception check.
Not nature?
Or nature.
I don't know why I said that. I don't have anything to nature.
I want nature.
17.
As you look it up and down, it seems perfectly fine, acceptable, bird-like creature. You haven't seen anything like it before. It stands about a foot tall, all in good order here. As you touch it to examine its plumage, if you would do that,
Yeah,
it feels papery, not like a bird should.
like a book bird.
Like a book bird, yes.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna let it rest on my arm, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna name you Crowrigami, and I'm gonna keep it with me until otherwise stated. It might come in handy, I don't know.
Very fitting name.
I'm gonna write down.
So, at the far end of this room is another door. There's the fireplace, the pile of books, and the collapsed pile of shelves. And then the stairway behind you. Sorry, I had a... Yeah, it was just too touching. So, what would you like to do? Which direction are you going to proceed?
Through the door.
Seems logical.
Yes,
Through the door?
Yeah.
Sure. You go through the door. There's a left-hand turn and a right-hand turn, another left-hand turn, and a final right-hand turn. And then you find yourselves in a hall. It has pillars on the side. It's almost a bit Grecian. You know, like the large columns supporting a vaulted ceiling and such and so on. And then there is a brown door at the far end of the hall. Not like a hallway, like a great hall, just to be clear. There's a brown door. There's a bit of dirt spilling out underneath it. On either side are small columns, like probably a foot tall columns on either side with a couple of books on them. And then in the very center of the hall is a large brazier with a small fire in it.
And doesn't seem to be anyone else in the room or anything like that.
No. Also, there's so you guys came in on the right side of this large hall, and directly opposite you on the other side of the hall was another similar hallway. And no, there doesn't seem to be anyone, but if you wanted to take a look around, you could roll investigation.
Sure, but first I'm gonna test the brown door, the one with dirt that seems to be coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it locked? Or...
It is locked, yes. And there's no visible keyhole or anything.
Good, because that might not go great. I'm gonna make an investigation check then.
Absolutely.
5.
The dirt around the bottom of the door is moist. It's good dirt.
Okay.
Nice solid dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything special about the braziers?
Looking around, I would like you to make an investigation check, and there is just one brazier. A brazier is a small bowl which holds fire.
And Frasier is a TV show.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't know what a brazier was either.
What did you?
And razor is used for shaving.
And a Brazilian is someone from Brazil.
What did you roll, Winslow?
7.
7. Looking around, there's a few pieces of burnt paper underneath the brazier, but nothing else of importance, really.
Is it orange fire?
Yes.
You mentioned there were some books, right? Are they also just labeled book, or are they...
So on either side of the door on these foot-tall pillars are books. On the left, there's 3 books, and on the right, there are 4. And they're all just titled book.
And you mentioned there was another hallway that was identical to that one, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to see if they're exactly identical or if there are any discrepancies between the two.
They seem to be exactly identical. I don't think you would need an investigation check for that one. Did you actually want to walk down the hallway?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, are you trying to be sneaky about this, or?
Well, now that you said that, it seems like I want to be, but narratively, no. If I didn't instinctively think there was anyone in the room, then no.
Okay. So as you walk down this hallway, you find yourself in a rectangular room, seemingly the same size as the reading room where you just fought a sand imp and a panther and a badger. Well, you didn't fight the panther, but anyways, similar to the room you were just in. This one is not covered in sand, however, but there is a dead shark on the ground.
Okay.
And it's just lying on the floor. And there's water all over the floor, too.
So, like, somebody else maybe had a similar fight in here?
Almost, yeah. That could be a reasonable assumption.
Okay. How long does it look like the shark has been dead for? Like, has someone come here recently, or would this fight have happened like
check.
a few months ago? Okay. 15.
15. It seemed to be perfectly intact, just that it is lacking any water rushing over its gills, so it seems to have suffocated.
But no rotting or anything?
Nope. Seems very recent.
Poor shark.
And sorry, is there another door in this part of the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Off to the right.
I'm gonna test that one, because if somebody else had a fight in here, they might have left through there. Maybe dullness.
You open the door and see a small room and a hole in the wall that is about 3 feet or 2 feet in diameter. That is reminiscent of the one you crawled through to get to the ship wheel tube room that kind of flipped the dungeon around.
Where's this hallway again?
The one which Mira is in?
Yeah.
So she walked, you guys came in on the right hallway to the hall with the burning brazier, and she went through the left hallway. And then there was a rectangular room similar to the reading room and an additional door that led to a circular hole in the wall.
What if we were to go down the right hall?
You came from the right hall.
Oh. We'll catch up.
Okay, you
Trot along
your
down the
friends come up behind you, Mira, as you are kind of looking through this hole in the wall, this crawl space.
Well,
What you looking at?
there's the shark there, so looks like somebody else might have had the same problem we did. There's a hole over there that looks like the one we crawled through. We know we're supposed to find somebody who is missing here, that kid whose stuff was still at the library. I don't know if we're gonna find someone here, but they probably left this way since the other door's locked, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you guys think... I mean, I don't want to assume that there's nothing worth checking out at the other doorway, but if we want to find a way to get out of here with what we came for, well, with what we were unwillingly sucked into a book for, it seems like this is probably the way to go.
I want to give a thorough investigation of the shark room.
Make an investigation check.
It's a 16.
The water on the ground is salty. The shark seems to have been recently deceased. There seem to be no visible wounds on it. It seems to have just suffocated. Beyond that, there is some ivy growing on the sides of the wall. And you seem to be standing on the ceiling. That's about it.
Okay. So do we want to check out that other door?
I checked it out, it was locked. I mean, if you want to try something, go for it. I just thought this way might help lead us to either dullness or a way out.
I could try something. Does the door seem to have any visible lock?
There seems to be no keyhole, but it is locked, so...
Shit.
My one trick!
My one trick foiled again. Well, can't go here.
There are pillars on either side of the door with books stacked on top of them, though. And they are neatly stacked, unlike most of the other books in this section, which seem to have been just thrown upon the ground.
What you're saying is we need to make a mess of these books.
I would never presume to mess up a library.
I'm going to throw Mr. Wiggles up on top of the pillar.
Absolutely. He stands there a bit scared now that he's about 4
But
feet
they just
in the
said
air.
book,
These are
right?
very
Can
thick
you
books.
push down the books?
They all just say book. What did you ask him?
Can you push down the books?
Absolutely. He kind of pushes one off and it just clambers on the ground. It opens and you see that the book labeled book has completely blank pages. And you see the left pillar raise up about a foot.
Oh, I wanted to actually test something, going off of that. When I threw the other book, and Kurogami came out, did it remain, like, what it was still called, or did it turn blank once something came out of it?
It did remain what it was still called.
Okay, because I was trying to see if, like, maybe the blank books were originally, like, magic. Okay, cool.
That's a good theory. Incorrect, but a good theory.
Fair enough. But it does seem like pushing these ones off is effective.
So would you like to climb through that hole, first of all, Mira?
That was my suggestion, but it does seem like Winsler's onto something here, so I'll wait for
Okay.
a moment.
Winsler, do you want to continue instructing Mr. Wiggles to push books onto the
I
ground?
want to help using my mage hand.
Absolutely. The combined trifecta of Winsler, Mr. Wiggles, and your mage hand makes quick work of the remaining books, and the pillar raises into the air, and you hear a dull click from the door.
I'll try the doorknob.
It does not open.
I'm gonna get Kurogami to push the books off the other pillar.
Absolutely. He takes pleasure in pushing them down onto the sand, and
Those are your brethren!
the pillar rises up to the same height as the other one, and you hear a louder click from the door.
Does the door open?
The door opens. Before you, you see a dirt path with trees lining the sides. It continues for some time, or some distance.
Okay, so
Oh, this is different.
do you guys think we should do this one or that one? I mean, on one hand, I think, okay, if the other guy who got lost managed to find his way out, he wouldn't have left his stuff. So if we go take the path that might find him, we might be less likely to find a way out. This might be the way out, but we might not find the other person who was sucked in here.
I mean, the hole in the wall might just lead to another room where we could flip the room again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Integrity, what do you think?
I joke and say, do we really have to find her or him? Is it
Yeah, I
him?
guess I just assumed him.
Is it him or her?
You guys don't really know.
Oh.
them.
Them seems
Yeah,
like
gosh,
a good
guys, don't
default.
gender people.
Yeah, good point. Do we want to? I mean, the thing is, I don't know for sure if the person who left the shark on the ground was even Delmas. I don't know if they did end up going that way. It just seems like the most likely option since the other door was locked. We want to find and help someone, but we also want to get out. And if that way led to a way out, Delmas' stuff wouldn't have been there.
Mr. Wiggles, what do you think?
Mr. Wiggles seems to be licking his paws and trying to get the sand out of his fur, and looks up at you and goes, I just want to get out. So I think we should go down that lovely dirt path.
I mean, okay.
Mr. Wiggles didn't get his
I
walk
guess
in
it's-
yet.
This is so much walking. I mean, okay, I guess if we found them and then we couldn't find a way out, we wouldn't be able to help us or them, right? It's like, when you're taking a train and it's like, put your train mask on before you help another person because airplanes don't exist.
Mr. Wiggles looks at you and goes, what's a train?
Do trains not exist either?
Why
What
would
is
a
a
train
train?
exist?
Okay, when you're walking and you worry you might die of oxygen pressure problems, it's a fucking metaphor. We should help ourselves in order to be able to help another person.
If you are
That
thrown
seems
into the elemental
sensical.
plane of air, please remember your safety mask.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're on a boat and the
Work
boat
with me
sinks,
here.
you should put your own life jacket on first before assisting
Just
others.
life jackets, but not
What is
trains?
this?
Yeah. Hey,
When
let me just
were
tell you, life jackets were
jackets
invented 12 years ago in this universe, and trains won't exist for another 200 years.
1854! They were invented in 1854. Trains existed before then. In a fantasy context, there should not be life jackets but not trains. I'm personally offended by
You
this.
just got styled on, Mr. DM.
Life jackets have existed
Fine.
for 12 years. Trains will not exist for...
Good to know.
Well, that
200
just
What
years.
if Mira invents... You know
Mark my
what?
words.
Mira's gonna invent trains. She's gonna survive this whole thing, and she's gonna invent the very first train.
Kind of a
Just-
shift from the musical program to the engineering program, isn't it?
Well, you know what? You can do multiple things. Terry Crews is a Renaissance man. Mira can be a Renaissance half-elf. In any case, Mira thinks we should take the dirt
I
path.
have a dream to watch metal cars ride upon rails throughout the sunset.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful.
So the votes for dirt path?
Yeah.
Dirt
Yeah.
path.
Okay. So as you walk through the doors onto this dirt path, you see that there is no sky. You still seem to be actually in a room. The
now
walls
the
are painted
fantasy's
blue,
just
and there are actual trees just planted in here. And behind you, the doors to the library disappear. There's a small road sign next to you that seems to be pointing down the
Weird
path, and it
tonal
just says
shift. I
Old
guess
Farm.
we should keep going.
Ooh,
We have no
farm.
choice.
Old farm.
To the old
Good point.
farm.
To the old
To the old farm.
Yeehaw.
Okay. I need perception checks from everyone.
I'd say we're being railroaded, but I guess that's not a thing.
Because trains don't exist.
That's a nat one.
Ha ha ha.
Nat 1 plus 2, so 3.
Perception, right?
Yes.
12.
A 12. And Winsler?
5.
Integrity. You kind of lag behind as you hear a rustling coming from the bushes. As your two friends are talking about metal boxes and railroads and things that you've never heard anything about, you look over to the bushes and see a very weird hat poking up out of the bush. It kind of looks like Winsler's hat. It's a pointed wizard hat, but seems to be made of alternating patterns of very eccentric fabrics. In the 3 or 4 inches that you see poking out from the bush, you see probably 8 different patterns of fabric. What would you like to do?
Mira, Winsler.
Uh-huh.
There's a poking hat over there. Points at
I
the
turn
hat.
around.
I'll also turn around.
You both see this hat sticking out of the bush.
Hello? Bush hat person? Are you there?
A person pops out, a half-elf Mira, and she looks at you. She's blonde and has this big nose and seems to be wearing all black besides this hat. She looks at you, puts a finger to her lips and goes, shh! And quickly ducks back down into the bush.
Sorry. And I go right up to her and I'm like, hi, I'm so sorry. Do you know what's going on here? Do you know where we are? Who are you? It's nice to meet you.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you too. I'm Dallas. This is Roger. And she points at a little square metal construct similar to the ones that work at the archives. And she's holding its hand, and then she points out of the bushes at a small clearing with a very shoddily put together house. There's a small fenced in area in front of it, and there's a lot of these little imp-like creatures, these ones made out of what seems to be mud, and a few that are made of parchment. And they seem to be trying to plant some corn in this small little fenced in area. And Delnus goes,
Corn.
Did you make the corn farmers evil as like part of
I
your
don't know
vendetta
what you're talking
against corn?
Is this just
know what you're
propaganda?
talking
Of fucking course you did. Okay.
message to all listeners, do not eat corn.
Luke hates corn.
bad.
He hates it so much.
Oh my god.
So you see these mud imps and paper imps planting crops and trying to assemble a barn, but they seem to be having no success as the walls seem too heavy. And she points at them and goes, I think those imps are responsible for us being stuck in here. Roger and I, we got trapped in here with another one of his work associates, but he flew away. Roger here was a bit too scared to fly away by himself, so we've been trying to work through this all together. But I think that those imps are responsible for everything that seems to be going on. Did you guys see that shark?
Yeah, it was super dead.
Yeah, the one, it was really dead when I was there too.
So someone else must have had a fight with them?
I guess, I'm not sure. I kind of really expected to be out of here by now, and I'm actually very shocked by you all
It's
being
okay.
here.
We're gonna help you. I'm Mira, and this is Korogami.
Oh, I'm Dallas. It's a very nice to meet you, Korogami. And he goes, squawk, very loudly. Or no, he would be considerate. So he's a bit quieter. He goes, squawk. And she goes, yes, a pleasure. Who are your friends over there?
I'm gonna like do the wave thing where you're like, get over here. Cause, you know.
Absolutely. Mira and Winsler, you see... What?
What?
Integrity and Windsor, you see Mira pop out of the bush and kind of gesture you over towards it.
I'm gonna limp towards them.
Sure. Kind of playing up your little injury.
I'm going to somersault towards them.
Make an acrobatics check.
Hey, it's a 21.
21,
Mission
you somersault
impossible.
perfectly over towards them, and everyone is impressed. Both of you get into the bush, and she goes, oh, hi, I'm Delnus. This is Roger. It's a pleasure to meet you, and gives you the same spiel that she's kind of given to Mira.
Look like they could use a hand.
What?
I mean, they're struggling to build that farm building.
Yeah, in my experience, I've met a couple of those a few rooms back, and they weren't exactly very kind to us. So I'm not a big fan of them.
Maybe I could go
Yeah.
talk to them. I might have something in common with them.
Oh, okay, sure. Be my guest.
I'm gonna trot over to the clearing.
Okay, you walk out of this bush and walk over to the clearing. Immediately, all 6 of these imps have their eyes on you. And one of the mud ones, which is slightly larger than the sand one, which you have recently stolen the coat of. Are you wearing the coat?
No.
Okay. He kind of turns towards you and walks a few steps and says,
Whoa there! What are you doing in this part? We're not finished construction yet.
I saw that you looked like you were struggling to build up that building there. I was wondering if
What's it to ya?
wondering if you could use an extra pair of hands.
he looks over at the paper imps who are having a hard time and blowing in the fake breeze and says,
No, we got this handled. It's a bit of a liability for patrons to be participating in the construction of the sets, so just sit over there and we'll let you know when it's ready.
What, sets?
Yes, set pieces, you know, things to help you experience the world through your very own handy study guide.
Oh, I see. Well, good luck.
Yes, thank you.
and he goes back to planting crops.
So they're building sets? Like
What
as
do you
if
mean
it's
sets?
a learning thing?
Well, it is a book, but
It's like the classic learning by doing and not by reading.
Yeah, I took this book out to study for my golem building tests, and it just kind of sucked me up. So, a pretty bad book in my opinion.
Building,
yeah, I mean, I know they're supposed to be immersive.
I think I've been in here
but-
for like a week.
Yeah, it's been about a week outside too, because the date on your paper, so there's not like a weird time passing differently thing.
I'm so very excited to get out of here and all my professors be very disappointed in me for missing the second week of class.
They'll understand.
No, they won't. They'll throw them off the tower. Don't say that.
So, do we just sit here and wait for them to finish writing? Wait for them to finish
I
building?
suppose that's what they
Do you
said.
think we should ask
Maybe.
them for an exit?
Yeah,
Emergency
maybe
exit?
because if the stuff's not ready yet, maybe we can be like, okay, we'll come back when you're ready. Where's the way out? And maybe they'll just tell us, even if they are slightly rude about it.
Where can we exit stage 1?
Yeah,
Do you go up to the imp and ask that question? Do you guys exit the bush?
yeah.
Okay. You exit the bush, and the imp that Winsler was talking to kind of throws his hands up in the air and goes,
We're not done yet, everyone.
Oh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to come and interrupt your early experience building. Can you please direct us to the way out so that we can come back when you're ready?
I mean, the whole point is,
and one of the paper imps kind of goes, can't we just be done already? And he goes,
well, yeah, I guess we can be done and we'll just get out of your hair then.
and he pulls out a bag of seeds, plants one in the ground, causing a door to sprout, a blue door. He then throws the bag of seeds through the window of the house, and all the imps exit stage left before closing the door. The door is still there, and it is open. Or it's not open. He closed it. I'm a liar.
Did that creature just make a door from seeds?
Cool.
That's not how
Should
farming
we-
works. That's not how any of this works.
Guess it does here.
That's
Do we want to?
stupid.
Do we want to try it?
He opens the door again and kind of goes,
If you want to, get over this way.
Sorry,
yeah.
coming.
Yeah,
and as you all rush
Who's
through the
gonna pick up the
door,
seeds?
do you want to pick the seeds up from inside the house?
Yes.
That's where we're going to end this episode of Trials and Trebuchets. Carla, could you do the outro?
Hello, everyone. If you enjoyed listening to our podcast, kindly leave a review on our iTunes. And if you want to keep updated, please follow us on Insta or Twitter at Trials and Trebs.
Thank you everyone for listening. We'll all you'll hear us next week. And thank you for listening. Bye.
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 Bye.